The information provided on Terminal Addiction Podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical or mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, licensed therapist, or other qualified provider with any questions you might have regarding medical or mental health condition. Never disregard professional advice or delay seeking it because of something you heard on this podcast. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, the hosts, are their own, and they do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated organization or institutions. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no guarantee regarding the completeness, reliability, or applicability of the content discussed. Listen to this podcast does not establish provider-patient relationship. If you're experiencing a medical emergency or mental health crisis, please contact emergency services or crisis line immediately.
Welcome to Terminal Addiction. This is a new podcast that we are putting out. My name is Doug H.
And I'm Paul B.
And we are both in recovery from drugs and alcohol. We're both a little over 5 years sober. We've been, hanging out together for the last few years, and we thought that a podcast that kind of talked about things post maybe that first year that maybe people are struggling with, and just some ideas about how to get sober, not necessarily, but to stay sober and to enjoy your recovery. So a little bit about Paul here.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, former paramedic, and registered nurse. I've got about 34 years experience in healthcare. By the way, I've got to welcome everyone to the upper doghouse studio. So we may hear some dogs barking in the background, but that's okay. It's going to be an organic show. No judgments here. We both got sober at the beginning of COVID-19 lockdown. And it's a turning point that reshaped my life and perspective. With years of frontline experience and deeply personal recovery journey, I bring raw honesty, compassion, and hard-earned wisdom to every conversation. And you, Doug?
Yeah, so I've been in and around AA since I was 16 years old. I'll be 42 here soon. My first meeting was when I was 16 years old. A friend of mine's dad just realized that I drank different than the rest of the kids. And after that, kept drinking and getting in some trouble, had some DUIs in my 20s. I got sober for a period of time from 21 to 24. I got sober again at 29, and this most recently I got sober when I was about 36. But I work as a chemical dependency counselor assistant right now, working on getting my licensed chemical dependency counselor license with the state of Ohio. I've been working at a treatment center for about 4.5 years now, and I really enjoy working with the patients. But there are just some things that Paul and I talk about with other members of our recovery community that we thought might be good to get out and talk to some more people about. And we thought that the podcast, the internet platform, would be a good way to get some things out. I'm familiar with treatment, with 12-step programs, AA, NA. I've been to Celebrate Recovery, been to things like Smart Recovery. Those are just some alternatives to traditional 12-step programs. I've also had some experience in Al-Anon as well. But I also think that there's, as many avenues for people to get sober as there are people getting sober. So we want to talk about, a variety of topics. We've got, quite a few that we want to talk about. But this first podcast, I think we just wanted to get some information out there, let you guys know who we are, what we're bringing to the table, and some of the things that you can expect from Paul and I.
So I think it's real important we talk about how we met. We actually live about a mile down the road from each other, but we never met until day one of treatment. And it was right in the middle of COVID lockdown. Doug, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think Paul and I had both tried to get into the treatment center here, and due to the COVID restrictions, they were not currently accepting patients. So Paul and I think, both had to white knuckle it there for the first few days. I know for me it was about 10 days before I was able to get in for treatment. And, I got in there and they had the residential patients on one side of the building and they had the outpatients on the other side. But Paul and I just kind of, hit it off and found this wonderful outdoor meeting that started up during COVID. It was 9 a.m. at a park every morning, and that meeting went on for about 2.5 years. And I don't know if I heard about it or if Paul heard about it, but one of us introduced the other one to it. And I think we made it out, to that meeting just about every day, one or both of us. And I think it really solidified both of our recoveries. We got introduced to a lot of wonderful people from both AA, NA, and Al-Anon, because this meeting was just sort of a hybrid of all recovery programs. It was just set up by people who knew that addicts and alcoholics needed a place to go, and that we wouldn't be able to just stay sober on our own self-will. So Paul and I went to that meeting and really hit it off. Got to meet and do some really cool things together. So, we've been pretty close. We've done a lot of fun things, gone to some concerts together, gone to some hockey games together. When he's out of town, he's nice enough to let me watch his dogs. And so we just we figured this was the next step maybe in the evolution of our sobriety and relationship.
So the last thing really want to talk about today, and it's going to be a short episode, just again introducing us, is what we can expect. Again, this is going to be an organic type of experience. We're going to talk about issues in early recovery, and we have a list of not only topics that we want to talk about. We've got some guests that we're going to bring on board to talk about their journeys. And anything you want to add to that, Doug?
Yeah, so we kind of put our heads together and came up with 2025 ideas. Everything from setting boundaries to early stages of recovery, maybe after people are out of that first 6 months or a year, but some of those later post-acute withdrawals, some of the effects that addiction has on families, working on building, and rebuilding relationships with people, and something that I've been working on with the patients that I work with is finding purpose and passion, and that's one of the things that Paul and I both have is a passion for this, and we find our purpose not just in getting sober, but helping, try to pass that message along to other people. So we've talked about that. We talked about reaching out to some comedians and actors and writers and just people who are in recovery who are not afraid to share their journey. We'd like to, reach out, and we've got some other people from other podcasts that Paul's already connected with that I think are going to agree to come on our podcast and help us learn about what they do as well.
So again, we're going to have an episode every 1-2 weeks, and look forward to hearing from you guys. We do have the website up. We do have social media. Connect with us, ask us questions, and we'll certainly include those in later episodes. And I think with that, we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated organization. This content is for informational purposes only and is not intended for professional advice. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Until next time.